Well, good evening, Southeast Texas. Of course, we saw showers and thunderstorms as expected earlier this evening. Luckily, no severe weather, so that was good news there. Things are pretty quiet across the area right now on our Roofing 911 Skycam network outside our 12 studios, sponsored by Mid-County Plumbing. Go up to Jasper on our camera there, sponsored by Provalis. Things are pretty quiet. Had about an inch to an inch and a half of rain up in the lakes, and here in the Triangle, we had anywhere from about a half to an inch and a quarter rain. Certainly need a lot more, but like I've been saying, we'll take what we can get. Currently these days, anyway, things are pretty dry. Temperatures have cooled off a little bit. The actual true front still back to the northwest a little bit, but we are down into the 60s, and most areas got into the 80s this afternoon, low 80s. We had plenty of instability for those showers and thunderstorms when they worked in. And we had very little thunderstorm activity in the Triangle. Didn't see a lot of lightning in the Triangle. Certainly didn't hear much thunder here in Beaumont anyway. Down in Port Arthur, our Roofing 911 Skycam network, sponsored by Market Basket. Things are quiet down there as well. We still have cloudy skies. We've got to wait for the upper low to come on by here in the next few hours. Then we'll gradually start clearing as we head towards tomorrow morning. And it will be a lot cooler tonight. Temperatures will be dropping on down into the 50s later tonight, lower 50s, maybe even some upper 40s up in the lakes area coming up by tomorrow morning. So big change in temperatures compared to what we've had over the last several days, that's for sure. We've been in the 70s to 80s. We've had lows at night in the 60s and 70s. Well, that's about to change. I'm gonna feel more like fall coming up. Over in Orange, our Roofing 911 Skycam network, had an inch, almost an inch and a quarter there. Nice rain. That's sponsored by the Horseman's Western Store. So pretty good rain, parts of Orange County today. And the least amount I could find was about a half inch in and around the Triangle, and the most over an inch and a half. That was pretty good. So need more, but we'll take what we can get. Unfortunately, not another big chance in the forecast coming up. We'll have a slight chance coming up Sunday night as the next cold front works in. Our other camera here in Beaumont, sponsored by Packard and LePray, 66 degrees, northerly winds beginning to pick up a little bit, 12 miles an hour, and it'll be ushering in that cooler air coming up later tonight. So you'll notice a big difference when you wake up in the morning. Be no more 70s for lows for a few days anyway. We're talking 40s and 50s coming up the next morning or so. Friday morning will be the coolest, where we'll have lows in the 40s coming up there. Nice and cool. You see the clouds working from northwest to southeast across the areas. The upper level wind flow begins to change as well. It's going to be a lot cooler tomorrow too. Now outside our 12 studios, sponsored by Mid-County Plumbing, our camera, skies are overcast. Things are pretty quiet. Traffic flowing fairly smoothly along the interstate tonight. So that's always some good news there. All right, your weather headlines. It'll become windy and much cooler later tonight. We'll look for some low 50s in the morning with that wind blowing. 40s Friday morning. Need a jacket next couple of mornings. And then our next front will come in Sunday night. As I said, we'll have a slight chance of showers with that on Sunday night. Looks like around 9 or 10 o'clock. Just a very slight chance. Nothing like what we saw today as far as the rainfall goes. All right, let's take a look at satellite and radar. We have cool downs down to 63 in Jasper, 64 here in Beaumont, 67 still Port Arthur. Of course, the rains we had earlier have shifted to the east. As we said, we had no severe weather across southeast Texas. Pretty good rains, though, falling around Jennings, Lafayette. There have been some 1 to 2 inch rains over there as that activity continues to work on out to the northeast. Pretty quiet right now. Notice we're watching a little band of showers. It's been slowly weakening. A little thin band of showers in northwestern Hardin County. A little bit heavier activity from south of Lufkin to Conroe. This is working to the southeast at about 25 miles an hour. Now, our high resolution models actually weakens this before it gets here, so we'll see what happens there. But we'll keep a 30% coverage in the forecast till around midnight, and then that'll be pretty much it as far as any threat at all, any showers. Even if this does make it into the area, which not a big chance it will, we're not going to see any severe weather, just a little bit more rainfall, which we certainly need. Zooming in a little closer, things quiet over the Triangle. There's that band of rain from Lufkin back down to Conroe. As I said, it is working southeast at 25 miles an hour, a little thin band of light showers across portions of western Hardin County. Of course, pretty light stuff there. Of course, all the rains we had earlier have now shifted to our east. All right, let's look at temperatures now. They're cooling off. 65 Lufkin down to 60 Tyler, 58 Dallas, 48 Oklahoma City. This cool air continues to spread to the southeast. It's going to be a windy night coming up later tonight and a windy day tomorrow, much cooler. 69 Victoria, Corpus, the front hasn't reached there. He is 78, 81 Laredo, 78 in Brownsville. And by the way, Brownsville, 99 degrees for a high this afternoon. Well, that's talking summer type temperatures down there, but they'll also cool off a little bit even into South Texas. Rainfall totals from earlier look pretty good, anywhere from about a ½ inch to an inch and a half across the area. Of course, the amounts varied. Of course, had a little bit more up in the lake, some inch and a half to inch and 3/4 up there, but still some nice rains in the triangle. Of course, didn't break the drought. We got a long way to go on that, but maybe we'll take every little bit we can get across southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. Now, tomorrow morning, it's going to be chilly, that wind blowing, temperatures in the 50s in the morning, low 50s. Now, this map here is for Friday morning. We'll have no wind then. Clear skies, 38, 39 in Burkeville coming up on Friday morning. We'll be in the mid 40s here locally. So if you don't grab that jacket tomorrow morning, you'll certainly need it for a couple hours there on a Friday morning. That's for sure. All the severe weather well to our east. Tornado watch in effect for much of eastern Louisiana as that system continues to work to the east. It's that little counterclockwise spin just north of Houston. That's the upper low. So until that comes by, we'll keep a 30% coverage in the forecast. Once it moves on by, we'll see clearing skies. Boy, we expect a lot of sun coming up for tomorrow. It's like a nice Thursday coming up. There's that secondary surge of cool air beginning to work on off to the southeast. Lots of clear skies out to our west. Houston, actually, they had their thunderstorms earlier. They actually saw quite a bit of sun earlier today. All right, here's a look at Futurecast, and let's see what it does with those showers off to our northwest. Tries to move them in and kind of weakens across southeast Texas. Temperatures falling on down into the 50s throughout the night. Look at that, 52, 51, 50, nice and cool. Don't think it'll quite get in the 40s in the triangle tonight. Thinking more like 51, 52. That's cool enough. Certainly some 40s possible in the morning in the lakes. Marine forecast, small craft advisory in effect due to windy conditions offshore tomorrow. North winds 25 gusts to 30. Water temperature 76. Rain will be ending throughout the course of the rest of the evening. To about midnight, we'll keep a 30% coverage in. Lows upper 40s to near 50. Low 50s here in the triangle. Wind chill in the 40s coming up for your Thursday morning. And speaking of Thursday, sunny skies, cooler temperatures tomorrow. It will be windy, lower humidity. Highs will only be in the 60s compared to the upper 70s and low 80s we've had lately. So that is quite a bit of change, that's for sure. 7-day forecast, lots of sun into the weekend. Looks beautiful next few days. 50s tonight, 40s Friday morning.